Hi guys, this is Jay, the owner of this 1975 Rickman Honda CR750. I want to take you on a short tour of the bike, just touch a few things, talk about a little bit what we did on the bike, try to make it a very truthful and accurate representation of the pinnacle of cafe racing back in the day. I've owned a Rickman CR750 since 1974 when I bought my first one. Still own it, kid rides it today, and I've restored several in the meantime. This is maybe one of the best I've ever managed to put together. So, starting here at the front, you'll see the reproduction K81s. These are the original tires, original size. These tires, you can see, have never been really ridden any more than around the block. Okay, it was a thing back in the day to flip the fork legs around, put the caliper in the trailing position, and then drill the heck out of these heavy cast iron brake discs to try to lighten the bike a little bit. So that was done back in the day. Again, the whole notion is that in 1975, 74, 76, when you bought one of these and built them, you built it to the max. Okay, so what I've incorporated here is a lot of the parts and ideas that would be typical of the period. Up front, you'll find a Marcel headlight. This is the H4 conversion headlight that was very popular in the day. Get rid of that Honda seal beam and put a halogen H4 in. Okay. All the plastic is original on the bike. It's in pretty good shape. It's been repainted because these things fracture like crazy. So instead of having a mass of spider webs on the fiberglass, we had it redone. Okay. In here you'll see a very, very nice set of gauges. These were done by I think it's called CB750 gauge faces in France. Okay, he does Laverda and he does the ND gauges for Honda 750s as well. Okay. One nice thing about this bike, a very important thing about this bike, is the frame is in absolutely tremendous condition. No corrosion. It's never been replated. It's never been buffed. It's never been left out in the rain so far as I know. Continuing up front here, a couple of the period pieces, the Magura dogleg style levers. Okay. Original Tomaselli, what they call Tomaselli Daytona grips. Kind of interesting because over here you have a rib on the throttle side. Okay, and then what was a popular add-on back in the day, the Napoleon fold-away rear view mirror. Going down here a little bit, you're going to see the original style Lockhart Industries oil cooler. Again, this is what was back in the day the hot piece to have for a hard-running 750. One of my favorite aspects of this motorcycle is the exhaust system. Okay, this is a very, very, very early Kirker, probably 72, 71 maybe even. This was a pipe that preceded the later design Kirkers, and you can tell that up here because it uses the original Honda 750 style spigot mount. Later Kirkers went to the flange built into the pipe, and the decaling on the later Kirkers was a three-dimensional casting. These very early Kirkers had this basically a decal, okay, and then a cute little cone that says Kirker Competition. So very, very rare. I've only seen one of these, and that's this one. Okay, no others. Back in the day, of course, performance was the name of the game. So, like the engines back then, this has been punched to 836 with a Weisco piston kit. It runs a Kenny Harmon Super F cam. One thing early racers found out about the Honda is if you put a cam on it and revved it hard, it tended to pull the cam supports out of the cylinder head. Okay, so Pops Yashimura, either him or Russ Collins, one of the two, came up with this innovative idea of a set of hold downs that bolt through the valve cover and go down onto the cam supports, holding them tight to the head so that when you rev it up, it doesn't lift the cam support out of the head. Of course, the mandatory carbs in the day were Mikuni CR carburetors, CR smooth bores. And perhaps the only thing not period on this bike is the velocity stacks. I could not find correct period velocity stacks, but I do offer the bike with a set of period correct K and N's if you want to go to conventional filtration. Okay, back in the day, very common also to paint the engine black. Back before Honda started doing it themselves. And again, this was one of Pops' innovation when he discovered in his Daytona racers that the black engines dispersed heat a little bit better. All the decaling on the fairing, the tank, and the seat are as per original, exact copies of the decals on my original bike. Okay, so they're perfect reproductions. I took a little liberty on the side cover here and made up a kind of a cute little informative side cover decal 854 with the two flags. We're running Pingle fuel taps, and of course these are the high flow fuel taps, much better than the original little stinker English petcocks, which leaked and came apart. So this is a real high quality petcock with a lot of flow to it. The wheels were done